Hi,
Hello, we're your foreign sisters. I'm Liggy,
and I'm Kitty. And today,
and I guess we're just gonna talk about why we've changed our name.
exactly, that is exactly what we're going to talk about. We decided to rebrand because we realized this name matches us much better than the previous one, which oddly enough, when we checked our notes for what we wanted for the podcast, neither of us actually had included our nationality in the titles. So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, we always wanted this to be about, I don't know, just us and our feelings, nothing to do with politics or nationalities or anything really. We just wanted to have a feel of community, and I feel like this name lets us do that a bit more, and it tells you, hopefully, we're just here to be your sisters.
Yes, yes. And also, we just don't want to limit our podcast to people who think if they're not Latvians, then it's not for them. It's more like, yeah, it is for anyone who would like to be part of our little community that is hopefully being built. um, and speaking of that, our idea of this podcast episode was about sisterhood, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. Um, which was quite a hard topic for us. Because we both kind of struggled to like say in words what sisterhood actually is to us. Um, so for me personally, when I think of sisterhood, obviously the first word that comes into my mind, because it has sister in the name, is to think about my siblings. And because of my complicated family history and relationship, I don't really feel like I have any relationship with my siblings at the moment. But I've been so blessed to have actual genuine nice people in my life that I consider to have like these bonds, and I would call like these sisterhoodly bonds, if you want to call them that. Um, so to me, sisterhood is just girls taking care of each other and treating each and every one of us as family, and just showing love and respect and care even to strangers. So that's what I feel sisterhood represents to me.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, when Liggy brought the idea of sisterhood to me, I was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this word. I don't know, like because for me, yeah, what I think the first thing that came to my mind was actually like a group of friends, like a bigger group of friends that exactly also support each other. And it's like, I don't know, all kinds of like doing all kinds of spiritual something practices. That like one image in my head was the fact that it's like a circle of women sitting down and like holding hands or something. um, yeah. Why? I don't know why I had a resistance towards this particular word. Probably because I feel like even though I do have a lot of like close friends, I just don't feel like it's not like a one big group together. I don't know if it makes sense. It's like I have separate individual relationships, friendships with them, which is amazing and I love them. Um, but yeah, so that was what was happening in my mind. But we're going for it because yeah, it still means a lot. And then when you reminded me about the fact that it is technically about siblings, I was like, oh yeah, it is. It's like for me it was like a secondary meaning instead of the first. So that's interesting.
That
Sorry.
is kind of lovely, and I kind of do agree with you. Now, I don't know if it's because where life has taken us, or maybe it's like this for everybody, but I think it is true, especially for me, that I don't really actually have like a big friend group. I'm not one of those people. I have like these intricate, delicate relationships with each individual person, and they're like very nice and lovely to have. But I feel like if I was like, hey, let's have a girls' night, nobody would come because nobody would like interact with each other, and people live too far away. And so I feel like that is something I'm lacking in my life, like the sisterhood, like just the group where you can go to and anybody, you know, everybody and anybody will take care of you and take care of each other and show love to each other. But that would be lovely to have. So that's why we're here, and we're gonna make a digital sisterhood group to take care, of each other and show love and compassion. And we just hope that if you want to join us, and feel free.
Yeah, exactly. Or like that's why we start with ourselves. We are the open sisters. We're happy to listen and support, and hopefully it kind of blossoms into something bigger if it needs to be bigger. Yeah. I don't know. I feel this is like a bit of an awkward introduction, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but I feel like that is us. It's like
every time. Yeah, I think every time.
Yeah.
It's always the
and
beginning.
Then 10 minutes in, we're like, oh yeah, we can't stop talking about things. And then 40 minutes later, we're like, oh damn it, we should have slowed down.
Yeah. I do feel that so sisterhood is I think it is this supportive, friendly community almost. And friendships, like friendship wise, it's just like it's such a big thing. But I think we have talked about friendships before, so that's why I'm not sure if it's worth expanding more. I mean, it always is worth expanding more. But what I liked when you said that you create your own new bonds throughout your life, and your friends become almost your sisters. So these are the chosen family. And where was I going with this? Not sure. I think because I looked at one of the questions we have on the list that asks about how can you share a personal story where sisterhood played a transformative role. So because before I'm saying sisterhood is a group of people, I'm trying to say that for me it feels like sisterhood is like friendships, and mostly for me it's individual friendships. And I feel like in one of the previous podcast episodes I already said how much I believe and I feel like my friends have influenced my life, and mostly for the better. Not mostly, in all cases it's always been for the better. So do I have a specific story? I don't know. I feel like all the specific stories were mentioned in the other episode. Yeah. Do you have a specific story you would like to share?
I don't know. I feel like I don't really have stories because it feels like all of my life is just like one big blur. But like in a good way. So it's hard to like nitpick one specific moment, but like different friends have brought out different, I don't know, quality traits in me, I suppose. I'm very grateful, for example, for my friend Letty at the moment, because I feel like I sometimes have this feeling, and I've joked to her and I've said this to her, that I sometimes feel like she's my older sister in a way, because we both work together and spend a lot of time like that, like in work, like the two of us. Because I don't know, it's just like I can tell her anything, and I know that she won't judge, and that she will, genuinely care about me, and like I don't know, like I have so many silly stories and silly like things that I worry about, because anxiety is a funny thing. It makes you worry about silly things. So whenever I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stressed about this, she will always be able to like kind of make me see the reality in a way. Um, and also because of her, I feel like I'm not scared of things that I used to be scared of before. Because she's quite a fearless lady, and I feel like seeing her not get scared of life and not get scared of situations, it's kind of impacted me in a way, and I'm very grateful for that. Which is like a tiny and silly thing that you maybe wouldn't have thought friendships could do, but I'm not as scared of heights anymore because of her.
Oh.
Which is, I don't know how that happened, but I'll take it. I can climb a ladder now and not get scared, and it's great because before I couldn't even climb on a stool. So it's just, what I'm trying to say is, I can say like these things about each and every single one of my friends, because each and every single one of my friends has brought something good out in me and showed me things about me that I might have not seen before. And it's like they each person holds this like specific key that unlocks a tiny little window, and lets my soul be more free. And I just think that's beautiful. And it's not specifically also aimed just at girls. It's just, for me personally, it's hard to build friendships with men, which I'm very upset about. Because when I was growing up, I feel like this is now a therapy session. I'm just like opening up. I told you, it's probably 10 minutes in. But yeah, growing up, most of my friends used to be just guys, because I wasn't romantically like looking at anybody anyways. Like, I just didn't, like, I had crushes here and there, but I was never like into guys. I just viewed them as friends and as humans. And ever since like turning 20, I've been quite upset by a lot of male friends that I thought were friends, and then they turned out not to be friends, and they were just friendly with me and waiting for me to break up with my partners to, shoot their shot. And that just keeps happening, and it just keeps breaking my heart. So yeah, so I don't have anything that nice to say about men at the moment, but I'm sure you all are great.
But yeah, and I would say, yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't specifically would have to be that it's just female friends or like female group of community. It can be mixed. It's just, yeah, I guess, I don't know. It just doesn't work always as we want it to, right?
Yeah, the dynamics are a bit weird, and from
Yeah.
the TikToks and reels that I've seen, like a lot of girls are struggling with this, and a lot of men are feeling like they're friend zoned. But so I just feel like, I don't know. I just wish we had a better communication
Yeah,
with
yeah,
with each other,
yeah.
and we were more open, because then we'd know from the get go what's happening. And
What are your intentions and stuff? Yeah,
yes,
yeah, that is true. And then neither of the sides can be hurt later down the line, right? If they do talk openly what's happening. Um, yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I was just thinking, I do have male friends. I wouldn't say we're the closest compared to my female friends, but I would say when I was in uni, that was when I forged these relationships with them, and it's still kind of going. It's just like it's a different dynamic in the sense that, yeah, it's not gonna be a daily chit chat. It's not gonna be like a massive catch up call where we both or everyone is crying, but it's more like it's like a funny, light, spending time together kind of vibe. And then also within that, there is some sharing about personal life, but it's like, yeah, it's such a different way than it is with girls. I don't know why. It's funny. But obviously, like, I do care about them. I would say the same. I want the best for them. And I can see that, like, everyone is struggling with something in their lives, and it doesn't, like, gender doesn't change, and it doesn't change that much. Well, some would argue, I guess. But overall, if you look at it generally, I would say everyone is going through like hard things, and yeah,
Yes.
you don't have to feel like, oh, it's just because it's my gender, or like, yeah, the other gender has it easier. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, do we want to answer any other questions?
Yeah, I think so.
um, okay, maybe Kitty, you could help with this question. What advice would you give to someone struggling to find or build their circle of sisters?
What advice would I give? It's a good question because I feel like I've kind of collected friends along the way on my life, and it just kind of happened in the places that I've been, where I've spent more time with these certain people, and then out of this group of people, at least one of them would be my friend at the end. But what I do recommend, I think in general, that's useful for everyone, is that you have to be open. You can't judge the people very quickly, even though it's good to follow your intuition. And if you feel like there's no that you can't really connect it fully, like you can't really fully connect with the person, then maybe it's not no point to really pressure yourself to do it. But like, also not kind of stop yourself at the first impressions of the people, because quite often it's just like it's not the correct way. I guess you might judge them too quickly, or too harshly, and then you would feel like, oh yeah, we would never be friends. But actually, if you did spend more time and did open up and started sharing, just talking more and sharing what's happening in your life, you could see those bonds growing into deeper and more meaningful friendships. Which is actually, I would say, how often has it happened to me? I would say at least 2-3 times in my life. I think that has happened to me, where I was like, initially, the person, I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't think we're gonna mix well. But because we did start spending more time together, and I don't know, it was just kind of happened. It was like, I like, eventually I realized, oh my god, maybe I judged them too quickly. Not, I didn't judge them. I think I judged the potential of a friendship too quickly. Um, but at the end, like, these
Yeah,
are very close friends.
you have to give everybody a fair chance.
Yeah.
Because even like ourselves, we're obviously not gonna, we can't always be 100% us, because you can't always give 100% of yourself away, because obviously there's the sad version of you, there's the calm, and then the excited, and there's so many versions of you that it's hard for, for people to gauge who you are in the beginning. So you just have to give them a chance to get to know you, and give yourself a chance to get to know them, and just keep putting yourself out there, really, like, do things that you want to do, I'd say.
Yeah.
So for example, if you want to have friends who do like game board nights every other week, like, check out if your library does like game board days, like where you can go and meet people, and or like any pubs with game boards, like, just try things out, and try to find people who also would appreciate your hobbies, and yeah.
Yeah. Put yourself in places that you yourself enjoy, and then out of these places, you're more likely to have better bonds because you already have similar interests, right? So that is true. That is very true. Yeah. What else? What else I can recommend? I wouldn't say. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it is a lot more difficult to like find friends as an adult after university. But I wouldn't say it's impossible. As long as, if you feel like you want more friends and you want to find your little community, you do need to be more open-minded, I think. And actually put yourself in situations where you can find friends, instead of isolating yourself and hoping that someone's gonna show up. But like, that's not how life works.
And I also think it isn't helpful probably to meet people with the intention, hey, you could potentially be my friend.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would put too much pressure onto it. I would just meet people for the sake of meeting people, and then, if you hit it off, you hit it off. If not, then not. And then you're not gonna be too upset that you are not making friends maybe as fast as you want. But then again, like everybody is like so different and going through different phases, and some people maybe are in their phase where they can't be a good friend,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you just have to give them time and chances, and yeah, don't put too much pressure onto it, because that can get quite upsetting.
Also, yeah, I would say some people might need a lot more time to really open up and kind of let you in. I would say I'm that kind of a person, I guess. But it does take me a time, like quite a long time, to kind of trust the person fully. Um, so yeah, but I feel like because I'm more conscious of it now, and also in general, I feel being a bit more confident within yourself helps you to be more open and like share more things up front. So hopefully that would kind of fasten the process. But we'll see. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. I would say I'm in a period of my life where I would like potentially find some friends just because I have recently moved to a new area and everything, but at the same time I don't think I have the capacity to kind of take that in. So I think I'm just living through this winter, and then with spring I'm gonna be out there. Yeah. The conversation it ain't flowing today.
I just kind of don't like any of the questions. They're
Yeah,
so
me
difficult.
neither. I realized, right?
There's this one that says, what role does vulnerability play in forming meaningful connections with other women? And I feel like we've been touching onto that anyways. Like, you have to be open, and obviously not like from the get-go. You have to build bonds and know what you can talk to people about, and
Yeah.
you have to realize first if your values align before, I feel like, opening up about important things, because you just don't want to be having arguments left, right, and center. So
Yeah.
you have to be patient, but you also have to be vulnerable. I guess it also depends on what kind of friendships you want. If you just want a mate that you meet each Sunday and you go golfing, maybe you don't have to be that open about
Yeah,
things.
like you don't have to tell you don't have to talk about your whole life. Not everyone has to know that
Yeah,
either, right? Yeah, it depends on
yeah,
of what level of the connection you would like to have with them, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. You just have to find somebody who is happy to match that and willing to match that with you. Because if you find a person who, I feel like, wants to be more vulnerable, and they want to tell you everything, and you don't want that in your life, I think that's just gonna be causing issues and upsets in the future. So just be open about your intentions and boundaries as well, I'd say. Because I have like some friends of mine that we live in the same town. I'd say I meet them maybe once a month if I'm lucky, because I just know that they're not willing to put in that effort, and I have to be okay with that. And if I'm not okay with that, that just means we can't really be friends.
Yeah.
So it's just like knowing the boundaries and understanding and accepting each other for who they are. I feel like that is very important when.
Mm. Mm. It's important for the friendship to hopefully work, but also it's important for you not to hurt yourself. Because if you keep
Yes.
putting expectations on these people and then they don't fulfill them, it's you who's
Yeah, but because they
suffering more.
don't know,
Yeah.
they have these
Yeah.
expectations
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. So it's like you can hold grudges. Oh, they didn't do that, but they didn't know you want them to do that.
Yeah.
You have to. Communication is key.
Honestly, all the time. Every single time. It is the communication. It is indeed. It is indeed. I would say, I'm not gonna lie, I think for me, one of the worst fears is that, or like from seeing how some other people's friendships have worked, if you can call them friendships, worked out, that someone is open and vulnerable and sharing all these kind of things, and then this other person just goes and turns around everything and like makes everyone against you, like uses this information to make like, yeah, to make, I don't know, to create enemies for you. I don't know. I don't know what's the intention behind of this person, but yeah, just kind of, yeah. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, I think that's why I think that's one of the reasons me it takes, like for me it takes quite some time to fully feel comfortable around a person and really share like more, I don't know, like more serious things than just like everyday bits and bobs. Which I would say that's when, for me, when we start sharing everything about, not everything, but like a lot of deeper things about life, that's when I feel the connection, the friendship connection is at a level where I can actually call the person a friend. Everything before, if it's just like, oh yeah, I meet, like, I see you every now and then, we say hi, we maybe catch up, like, share some stuff, some struggles about work, and then don't talk for like 5 years. I wouldn't, like, I can't consider it as a friendship. Yeah, at least from my, that's from my point of view. But at the same time, I do have friends that I only catch up maybe once a year, but like the feeling is the same. Like it's like I can feel the connection is there. It's easy to talk to them, and it's just, yeah, yeah. And it's like, yeah, what I want to say, it's not surface level. It's not surface level.
Yes.
Everything surface level, like it's hard for me to call someone a friend if that is the case. Like if that is the foundation of the connection. Yeah, maybe that's mean, but I know like a lot of people sometimes when they just
think
meet.
it's mean.
Yeah.
I guess it again depends on the people you build these friendships and these bonds with. Like, do they know what friend means to you? You know, I think that also is important, because to them, a friend might just be a person you say hi to.
Yeah.
You know, it depends and differs on each person. So again, you have to just talk about these things, and well, maybe not like from a get-go. You can't just meet somebody and be like, hey, what is a friendship to you? Like, how much are you willing to put into me? Not like that. It's just, I feel like as you like build these connections and, you know, get to know people better, you can also gauge on what that is for them, and just understand if it works for you or if it doesn't. And
yeah,
it's just like all a trial and error, really.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah. It's fun. But I guess
it's worth it.
Yeah. And if you do think about it, it's gonna be like, it's almost like the honeymoon stage of building a friendship. Not even a honeymoon. It's like this, it will only happen once. Like for only once you will have this initial stage of getting to know someone like that. So, yeah. I guess there is some things that you can appreciate about it. Because later on you will just be very close, you know? Yeah, it's not gonna be a fresh new friendship that you need to build. You know. I feel like something's off with this topic.
I feel like we've also like kind of swayed away from sisterhood to friendship again.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't mind. Because as you said before, to you, your first association was friends with it.
Yeah.
And to me, nowadays, it is like my found family. So it is okay,
makes sense.
I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Do we maybe want to, you know, just say our final thoughts about our rebranding and,
yeah,
you know, finish it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do like. So before we started the podcast, we created a little questionnaire for both of us to kind of see where we are at and how we see
Yes.
the podcast to be. And I think it's just like the answers there are just really good.
Yeah. So we built this year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, before we like published our first episode. So we answered questions like, why do we want to start a podcast? What about do we want this podcast to be? The genre of it, for whom, like who would be the demographic?
Yeah, and also,
What would be the title?
yeah, the title. I like it. I think we should actually do create like a video, shorter video or something, or even now talk about like the titles that we kind of wrote
Yeah,
down
we
that we
can.
didn't use. What did you say last time? It was like the baby names we liked but didn't use it.
Yeah. So the title names that we liked but we didn't use. So I liked Let's Talk It Out, because that's what we're basically just doing. We're just rambling about things and just talking about things and, finding things out.
Yep. Yeah, for me, one of them was called a soulful tea. Oh, I can't even pronounce it correctly, so it would be
I
tricky.
really like that one
I
though.
like that one as well. Like, I think it's just, yeah, it's these like bigger topics, or sometimes not so big topics, but just like when the conversation is flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just sounds cozy. Like you can have your cuppa and just, sit
Yeah.
on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then mine was Breathing Out Trauma, which I don't like anymore. But, it happens. We change our minds.
Mm. But it kind of like it does make sense at the same time because we did look at it as almost like a therapeutic thing, but at the
Yes.
same time I do like looking back now, like it is something we are talking about more difficult topics, but not it's not necessarily always the case.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that in a title to be like,
Yeah.
hey, trauma.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's a bit brutal.
Yeah. But for me, one of them was growing in life. And I can remember why, like, I was at this stage when I was just out of some personal development courses. So that's like I think that's how where the name was coming from. That the fact and the idea that we're always growing, there's always things changing, and with growing we learn a lot more things and hopefully have a lot more experience and we get more confident. But it's still like there's always like this room for improvement. Yeah.
My next one was Dear Younger Me / Us. I still really, really like this one because, as we said, we're like technically this podcast is for us in a way to like talk about things that we need to talk about. Now we just want to also build a community, so we hope you guys actually join us on this journey, and but then also in the future it will be very nice, like let's say in 5 years, to click on a video or a podcast episode and be like, oh, that's how my views were about this topic, and to see if that still holds true or if it doesn't. And I feel like that would be just very interesting. It's like a little therapy video diary, I'd say.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Oh, that was beautiful actually. I do love this one as well actually. But I do feel like, I mean, we can still keep it in mind when we're thinking about what topics we want to talk about in a podcast.
Yes.
I think that's quite useful. Because, yeah. Oh, no, I love it. What did I have? The next one for me was It Isn't All Roses and Rainbows. So that was almost like, that is the darker, not a darker version, that like a heavier title.
Yeah.
Showing that, yeah.
Very poetic, Joe.
Yeah, yeah. But also long, if you think about if it like as a title.
Yeah.
But it isn't all roses and rainbows. Yeah, it was more like, yeah, it's not a want and it isn't gonna always be easy. We do want it to be like we all want to be happy and like fulfilled and satisfied and everything in all areas of life, but it's just it is about balancing and harmony. So there will be some times where one area of your life might not be as good as you would like, but the other might be blooming because of it. So it's like, yeah, kind of showcasing that. Still like,
Yeah, and you can't experience true joy if you've never experienced sadness kind of situation.
yeah, we wouldn't
You can't
feel like we
understand.
wouldn't appreciate it
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah.
exactly. Plus, I would hate it if life was just like constantly the same and neutral. In a way, I like that it has its ups and downs and it's unpredictable, even though sometimes it is very hard and soul shattering. Then my next one was the hard life's lessons, which also I feel like is a bit too heavy. Like, oh, people might not click on that, and and I feel like, yeah, we've learned a lot, but it's not like necessarily we can put it into words or.
Yeah. Or
Plus,
feel
and
qualified
sometimes
enough.
I don't want to. Yeah, like I don't want to put like all of my backstory out there so you understand every single one of my choices, and I don't know, it's just like a very hard one, and I feel like it would be very hard to make it work, that we would be happy in a way
Yeah,
with it.
at least with the things that we wanted to talk about and kind of like how we visualized it to be. I think, yeah, it would be a bit more like a serious and mostly heavier topics, I imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
constant crying.
Yes, constant crying, exactly. Oh god. So the next one I had was from the bottom to the top. I don't know. I feel like at the moment it doesn't resonate with me at all, and with the vibe that we're going for, it was more like, yeah, it's almost like this hustler energy.
I feel like there's no true top overall,
Mm.
because like, yes, life progresses, but like, would you say that when you're 30 you're at the top and then the rest of your life doesn't matter? I feel
Yeah.
like the more you accomplish and achieve, what I'm saying is your top probably changes.
Yeah.
Like your goals in life change, and what you want to, how you value happiness changes, and so I feel like that is like a tricky one.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is a tricky one. And then something of similar sorts, I guess, is how I wrote it down, is something about rising from the ashes, or that every fall leads to a bigger growth. You can see, like, I feel like 3, 4 out of my ideas were about something growth and growing, and like, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I was recently out of like self-development courses, and that's where my mindset was in. Um, yeah. Rising from the ashes, I guess it's quite a powerful one, but also can be relatively heavy. Yeah. But these are
Yeah,
great
and
ideas.
somehow, yeah, they are, and somehow we've landed on, well, in the beginning, Latvian diaries, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think when we chose it, I thought it was good. Like, I think that resonated with us
Yes.
at the time. I think it was
Yes, because
like,
you were like, oh yeah, we are Latvians and we
yeah,
are talking about life
like that.
abroad. So yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. But the more I think a month into it, maybe 2 months into it, I remember you went to me, you went, I don't like our title.
Yeah. I think it was
And I
like,
remember saying to you, it's not that bad. And then like 2 months later, I was like, Kitty, I think you were right. I don't like it either.
I just like, obviously, I think for both of us, we are proud Latvians, and we are coming from Latvia,
Yes.
and it's like it is in some sense like a big part of our lives. But that's the thing. I don't think the podcast has to be all about that, and like, because we put it
No.
in the title, it also limits of who is gonna listen to it. I think. Because who knows, who cares about Latvians, who knows what a Latvian is. I'm not a Latvian, why would I listen to it? Like,
Yeah. Plus, not everybody even knows where Latvia is. Like,
yeah.
the amounts of times, even to strangers, when they see the flag on my name badge, they go, ooh, is that Austria? And I'm like, no. So it is, like, quite, yeah, hard. And we only made, like, what, 2 episodes about Latvia? Like, one
Yeah.
of them was when we went back to Latvia,
Yeah.
so we just talked about our experience. So it wasn't actually about Latvia,
Yeah.
Latvia. We would have just talked about it, about any trip like that.
Yeah.
And then the other one was when we sat down with Daniel and we talked about the school differences, which I thought was quite an interesting
Yeah.
topic, because
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
I did. Oh yeah. I did.
Yeah. So I feel like we didn't even do the Latvians any justice.
Yeah, right? Yeah, because other topics were quite like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Like, it didn't matter who you are or where you're from, so. Yeah. So we learned, and we've changed the name. Which I do feel that, like, it suits. It suits. It kind of still says that we are foreigners, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
But I also like that foreign doesn't always have to be about, like, nationalities.
Yeah.
Like, your foreign sisters. It could be just like as a, hey, I'm your friend because I'm not your sister.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that has like a double meaning. So I think that I like.
Yeah.
We'll see how we feel in a year, I suppose.
Well, to be fair, it's our podcast. We can change it if we want to. It's gonna be hard for branding, but it's okay.
We took New Year, New Me, literally.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So, but if anyone wants to use any of the other name ideas, feel free. If you can tag us somewhere if you do use the other names. It's not like, to be fair, I don't think it's anything brand new, and it's not patented names. Anyone can use those. So, but yeah, if you did get the idea from us, that would be nice to know.
Just say hi.
just a shout out. Yeah. Wow. I feel like there's not much. Well, oh no, there was something, because like initially you said it was about family. So if you wanted to go and dive a bit deeper about sisterhood in relation to blood relatives, we can also do that.
Okay. Is that something you want to do?
Well, if I'm honest, I guess at this point in time, not really, because I have some tricky relationship with my sister at the moment. So and I feel like it's not, like it's in a process, so maybe it needs to be resolved first. Because right now I do feel a bit distant and in an awkward place.
Yeah. So if you guys want to watch us talk about what families mean to us and about all the intricacies of them, just let us know in the comments or just shoot us a DM and, we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
And for us, because I feel like because we both know it's going to be a hard topic for each of us, I feel like that kind of also means we have to talk about it because it's going to be good for us in the long run. But yeah, just let us know if that's something you're interested in, and maybe you have any questions or anything. We'd be very happy to answer them. Yeah.
You know what? I thought this is going to be a longer podcast, but it ended up not being that long. But it's okay.
It's still going to be about like 45 minutes.
True.
So.
And I do feel like we did go over some bigger questions.
The main points, yeah.
Well, the main idea was that we say that we are rebranding, but because we wanted to kind of give the backstory as well. Us wanting a community, and we're starting with ourselves. And hopefully, I say too much hopefully, I think.
It just means you're a hopeful person and you're looking, to brighter days ahead. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I'm not. Because I'm not gonna lie. Even since to be fair, it hasn't been that much time passed since the last podcast, but I'm still in the middle of like winter seasonal depression episode.
Yeah, it's dragging me down bad as well right now. I just can't wait for spring. I just need brightness. I need the sunlight. I hate the cold. I feel like I sound like a Brit now because all I do is complain about the weather, but each day I'm like, it's cold again. And today it was foggy and even colder than yesterday.
I don't like. Yeah, I feel like the coldness doesn't bother me as much as just like no sun. It's always cloudy. Always cloudy.
It's always grey.
I literally like. I get happy if I see a little bit of blue sky peeking through these thick clouds, thick layers of clouds. It's not just individual clouds. It's just layers. So yeah, but it is kind of yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's like all kinds of stuff. It's not just the weather, but yeah, it is hitting me hard this time. I'm not gonna lie. So we're surviving, but with spring, I'm sure we'll blossom as well. And we're gonna have a lot more exciting topics coming ahead, and more people coming, joining us.
Yes, very exciting.
It's gonna be interesting to arrange it, but yes, the video format.
We'll make it work. We always do.
We do. And maybe some in person.
Yeah. So, as always, guys, if you have anything to say, let us know. Please subscribe, follow us everywhere. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. We're trying to do shorts.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
We want to get our story game better as well and just pop on Instagram a bit more often and get better at YouTube Reels. It's just, it's winter. I'm going to blame the winter. It's just very hard to motivate. For me, it's just hard to motivate myself because it's always like so cold and so dark and so wet outside.
All you want to do is
sleep. I can go for a walk. Yeah. Honestly, just let me nap.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening. And we'll see you again very, very soon.
Yes, welcome to the new era of your foreign sisters.
Yeah. We hope you stay.
Yeah, please. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.